Joining us in the booth, Miles Amos.
Ho, 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 you already know, man. These nonstop finishes here in St. Petersburg, Florida make me feel like I'm in Orlando.
Oh.
Opening up with a flying scissor kick. Head kick to right hand, whipping head kicks at him. Again, spinning back fist. Thorn in on the body. Marcel working the guillotine, trying to get his hands together, having a hard time of it. Thorn with the pressure. You can see his back all swollen up, squeezing. Wallace using the wall to keep himself upright. He's crotch blocking with that right hand, keeping the hips away. Thorn gets him up, gets him down, and he is in Wallace's half guard. Wallace going for the Von Flue choke here. He's got the arm trapped, he's got the head cross-faced. He's just got to free his right leg, and he can start applying more and more pressure to that head. If he's super strong, he can do this from the half. It is just unlikely.
I see the veins across the head of Marcellus Wallace bulging. So he's definitely applying a super squeeze.
He is, but being caught in the half, you can't get enough torque to cut off the throat. If he's successful with this pass and he basically back bends around it, great job by Wallace closing up that guard. Thorn needs to bail at this point unless he feels Wallace's hands on his jaw and then he's doing the right thing by keeping everything shut down so he can't lock hands. You can watch Wallace here, cool as a cucumber. This guy has a ton of competition experience, and it's not like he's never been pressed against the wall before. We just got to see what he's going to do to get out of here. Or is Thorn going to be able to just keep things locked up and just slow it down for the next 3 minutes? Or does he get bored and try to activate?
Locked in this position.
Nobody wants to let go, and I understand because both men are very dangerous here. You know, no matter what position they're in, there can be fireworks. So both guys are being really tentative and safe. I am of the thought that if a guy gets a takedown, even if he's boring, well, it's the bottom guy's job to get up.
Yeah, some members of the audience may say, "Yo, just stand him up. Oh, just stand him up."
That's
right on cue.
He's out.
All right, Thorn frees the head, drives into the guard. Wallace shimmying the hips, using short shots instead, keeping Thor's posture down, but getting crammed into the wall. Wallace using the pad, which is much more forgiving than the cage, to look to shoot up a triangle with those long old legs. Thorn looking to pass. Wallace in on the reverse triangle here, trapped up, and when you got legs like ropes, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff to your opponent.
It's almost like Theoren just fell right into it.
He did. Shifting in and out, got himself caught. Thorn chopping at the legs of Wallace. Wallace whipping up kicks. Thorn passing through, knee over pass into the half. Overcommitted a bit. Wallace holding the hip, switching to the neck, looking for a katagatame from bottom of his own. You're gonna have to be real strong to pull that off.
Especially from the bottom position here, as we have less than 90 seconds to go in this first round.
Thorn's got the frame across the throat, giving him a little room to breathe. He's got his foot wedge in there, looking to pass out. That knee is about to come free. Wallace recovers. Good job there. This is a great spot for elbows. If you're Theoren Thorn, palm, push the head to the floor, and just drop elbows in a straight line down. Usually a little nick, little cut, and all of a sudden things start happening.
Here they come.
It's like he could hear me.
Yeah, just the tip of the elbow can do lots of slicing, lots of damage, especially over the eyebrows there of your opponent.
Thor looking for the Kimura. Wallace frees the arm. Thorn keeps pummeling. He's doing all the right things here. It's not the most fun way to fight, but if you're in half guard and you just chip away, those are W's, boys.
Looks like a little cut over the left eye of Thor. Oh,
Thor gets the mount, firing.
10 seconds left.
Wallace trying to wall walk off the side. Thorn in the mount. Here's the clacker and decides just to let him fly. Huge elbows fired off by Thorn. He wants to finish the round with style. Great first round for Thorn. Excellent display of control. Wallace showing very competent on the ground, but not able to get much off. That's a Thorn round for sure.
And this is the first bout on the pro card to make it out of the first round.
That's true. You know who fought back in May, didn't make it out of the first round?
Did he have a beard as good as mine?
No one has a beard as good as you, except for you. It was you. You punched that guy right in his face piece.
That's been hotly debated here of late.
What? Because
hey,
it doesn't count like, if you dye your beard.
I say it's just like you see these models out here on Instagram: fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake boobs, fake butt. You still gonna slide, right, Ramsey?
For sure. Exactly.
That being said, as a guy with a partly white Hulk Hogan mustache, I think I've beaten both you and Mitchell out for best facial hair. Not beard, facial hair.
Yeah, the handlebars is definitely good. Look, I couldn't pull that off, you know, personally.
Personally, I think that's not true. I want to see you shave the chin and give me chops and handlebar.
Steamboat Captain.
Oh, big head kick.
Big right.
Gets his chin checked. Thor cracking Wallace.
Wallace needs to tuck that chin.
Rattling his cage. Wallace standing tall.
Move.
And big shots in return. Weathering that storm by Wallace, shooting up that leg, giving him just enough space to tell Thorn to start wrestling again.
Thorn started that round the same way Wallace started the first. Came out blasting.
Wallace opened both rounds with flying scissor push kicks. Wallace is deep on that neck. Thorn spins out and through. Back on the double. Wallace locked up on the darce. Thorn has to be careful what he's doing here. Wallace reaching over for the switch. He keeps his underhook. He's hip blocking here, making it hard for Thorn to get anywhere. Thorn with the big lift. Wallace with the frame. Sets himself into a full guard with head control, but no real guillotine threat yet. If you look at the top of your screen, you will see Ramsey White watching the fights, and here we are wave. These guys working right in front of us. Wallace climbing off the hip using that classic Hoist Gracie heel strike. Thorn building pressure, looking for the knee cut. Wallace using the fence to turn the corner. Thorn not having it, killing the hips, and just letting Wallace know we're going to stay here for a little while. Wallace getting his hips moving, using those long libs to play keep away. Thorn riding, getting back in the guard, more than happy to stay here. Thorn making good work of this close space. Chopping away, short shots, short elbows, short hammer fist.
Oh, wow, and the referee Larry Folsom stands him up.
Surprising after that first couple rounds, or after the first couple minutes. Thorn's going for it. He is in Wallace's face all the time. There is no stopping. He must be a wrestler.
Yeah, Marcellus Wallace, being that he has the height advantage, if I was him, I'd definitely keep my chin down a little bit low. You want to tuck that chin. When that shorter fighter is coming at you throwing non-stop bombs, like you just standing tall, you're just essentially giving him your chin.
It's the curse of the tall fighter. They're used to being so far out of place that they just kind of lean their heads back. Posting, controlling, tying. That's where you make them stop. If you just lean back, they're going to keep coming at you. Thorn putting his head in danger. Wallace working those guillotines. Big shot from Thorn, shaking Wallace's cage. See him a little stumbly in there? Still bouncing, willing to throw. That's years of work, years of familiarity in the combat space. You see how the whites of Marcellus's eyes? That's a guy who's trying to stay aware. He's putting a lot of focus into his game so that he can recoup and recover. Thorn needs to keep this pressure on him. He is still a little shook. He's still a little out there. If Thorn can keep the pressure and keep touching him just every couple shots, we're looking at real damage being done here. Wallace is not going to give you that one-shot knockout you want. You're going to have to accumulate damage upon him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Theoren Thorn, he's just chasing him, following him around the combatagon here. Like we've mentioned before in some of our previous fights, fighters need to understand about the angles and cutting your opponent off. Because all Marcellus Wallace is doing is just, circling away from the power side. And Theoren Thorn is just following right behind him. He needs to do a better job of cutting off the angles, and eventually, he'll land that overhand that he's looking for, or eventually get that takedown.
True, but at the same time, if Marcellus wants to just walk backwards and gallop away, Thorn can walk forward and not take all that much damage as Wallace retreats. Did that skim right off the top of his head and dropped into the single? What luck for placement. Thorn very well could be just working on instinct right now. After taking that kind of a shot and stumbling into this type of opportunity, he's probably seeing fuzz and just going, whatever we're here, we'll work with it. Wallace is super deep on this neck. He just can't manage to get his hands connected. Thorn with another takedown, sealing the second round for himself. Beautiful performance here by Theoren Thorn.
Yeah, those first 2 rounds, I definitely give it to Theoren, but that is no slight to Marcellus, man. He's still hanging in there. He's still very dangerous there. You can see a cut over the left eye there of Mr. Thorn.
Now, placement-wise, that is a very dangerous cut. If Marcellus can get his jab working or his cross working and just touch that cut a handful of times and get it really leaking, that is a fight-ending location. It is on his eyelid, not brow. So no matter what, it's going to go in his eye. His coach is doing his best to stop that bleeding with a T-shirt. Guys, you want a cut man. It's going to cost you a little cash if the show doesn't offer one, but you want a cut man or a coach that knows how to work a cut. Cuts make and break fights. If your corner is not prepared to take care of them, you are at a disadvantage if that happens. And I'm not saying that just because I'm the best cut man in the state, but, Odds Wallace opens with a flying kick again, and he doesn't. Oof. Vicious shot by Wallace. Right hand by Thorn, takes him to the fence, gets right in on those hips, and Wallace is back on the ground. Wallace's corner telling him to squeeze. He's not in position for it. Wallace can keep the head if he wants, but he's got to get that left leg all the way through and back to a full guard. You're not going to guillotine a guy cross body in half. However, you can see that shoulder of Thorn is in great placement for this Von Flue. If Wallace can get his hand out, he 100% should. All right, Thorn keeping the head pressure, driving in. He's looking for that katagatame or head and arm triangle. The guard is breaking, the knee is sliding. We still got 4 minutes. Thorn is in mount. Wallace is looking to turn the corner, but he can't. Thorn is snaked off to the side. Wallace bucking. Thorn denying him. And Wallace makes the tap.
Right there.
Thorn with the finish in the third.
Your referee, Larry Folsom, calls a stop to this bout in round number 3 with your winner out of the red corner, Theoren Thorn.